Dawn Marie, and this is my channel, DM's Crafty Vortex. This is a channel mostly about cross stitch, and then whatever other crafty adventures I happen to get up to throughout the week. It's been a few weeks since my last video. I filmed before Christmas, I think, the last time. I decided to give a mini Flosstube break. I've been enjoying watching all the whip parades. I don't feel like I have enough whips to really do a whip parade. And I thought I'd let everybody enjoy all the whip parades before I uploaded a regular video. Today is Tuesday, January 18th, so we're well past the beginning of January, and I live in Maine, so it's a very, very cold, dreary day outside. Yesterday was definitely an interesting day. The morning started with heavy snow, almost whiteout conditions, and then it warmed up to about 40 degrees and rain, and by the time I left work, the sun was up and the rain had stopped, which is probably a good thing because it is very, very cold today, and if it had still been raining, we would definitely be having frozen roads. So I'm not going to complain about it being cold today as long as it's drivable. So last time I recorded, I had all my kids here for Christmas. My daughter Diane has since gone back to school. I think I've mentioned she's in grad school right now. She's going to school to be a vet, and unfortunately her school is not in the United States. So it was a little touch and go trying to get her home. She has to go get a COVID test before she flew away, and then they canceled her flight. So then they rebooked her flight, but it wasn't within the 72-hour window, so the poor thing had to go get another COVID test. Then they canceled that flight, and then she was finally, third time's a charm, able to get home. I think she said she made it back to school, or made it back to her apartment with a half hour to spare to get on her first class, which was a Zoom call. And she is back there now. I had mentioned that she has her roommate and a couple of other friends who she has watched my floss tubes. So Diane and I thought it would be fun to try and get them into cross stitch. She picked out a couple of cross stitch kits, and I made some cross stitch bags, which I will just insert a little video here now. So this is just a quick little insert. My daughter is here with me, Diane, who is usually away at grad school. She's gone away to be a vet. I have been informed it is not college, it is grad school.
I already went to college.
College
already happened.
College already happened. So now it's grad school. And I just want to do a quick insert because while she was away, she put in a request to Mama to make some things for her, which I wasn't able to show before now. So I just wanted to show what I made because they will go back with her to grad school to be a vet. So she's all bundled up because she's not used to this, because where she's going away to school, I think you can still wear bathing suits and be on the beach at the moment.
Yeah, but it's also just cold here. You're in a sweater?
Not all.
I just thought this looked cute. You want me to take this off?
No, you look very cute.
Thank you.
Very good. All right. So she has asked for some project bags. Not for her because she obviously has a project bag, but we had mentioned previously that she has her friends watching my floss tube, and they have made a few comments about my project bag. So now they will have their own.
They said it's not torture. They said it is entertainment.
Entertainment. Watching me is entertainment. So her roommate, Caroline, his favorite colors are red and blue. So this is what I made for Caroline. And it looks dark on camera, but it is blue and red. And then if you go on the inside, I stick with the blue fabric. So this will be a gift to Caroline from me. And what do we have to go in the bag?
Starting in the right order.
I just handed them to you.
Yes. Pretty self-explanatory. But I asked Caroline if hypothetically she were to start cross stitching, would she prefer a horse or a zebra? And she said cross stitching, probably a zebra. But she has a horse and she does like horses, but she also likes zebra print. So, and I went with these colors because I couldn't find zebras that were just blue and red. to match the bag, and I didn't like any of the just black ones because that's not fun to only cross stitch just black. So I said, this is nice.
All right, so Caroline, this is for you. And that can go in.
But Caroline, if you don't want to do it, don't be offended. You can use the bag for anything you want. So I'm not forcing her into Flosstube culture.
3 years on an island, you gotta find something to do. All right. And
I
then,
did bring the cross stitch with me. I took it out yesterday. I didn't put a stitch in though, because then I put it right back because I got distracted.
you got it here?
Yeah.
Oh, good, we can show it.
Oh no, it's at Brandon's apartment.
Oh,
It's just in the United States.
We can't show it, but I'll have her send me a picture and we'll show the cross stitch that she's currently working on. So then Jamie, you said like black and rose pink?
That's what she texted
Rose
me.
pink. So this is the bag that she got, and it's a softer pink in real life, but again, we know how phones are with colors. And this is her bag.
This is what Brandon got you for Christmas last year, right?
Oh.
The stand you're using?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
What happened when Brandon got you?
He didn't get me a stand.
What did he get you?
He got me a handheld thingy for when I do vlogs and things.
Oh, okay.
So, Jamie.
Jamie gets sunflowers because she loves sunflowers, and she hasn't told me why, but I know that they're very near and dear to her heart. I think it's a personal reason, but she has not told me what, and I'm not going to push her. And sunflowers are very pretty, so it was very easy to pick hers. Although the first design I picked, my mom told me I couldn't get her, so she made me pick another one.
Well, the first design she picked was a full coverage piece, and I thought maybe full coverage was a lot to start out on. So it was a recommendation that might be a little overwhelming. And then Christina. I'm so sorry, Christina, it's always you. Her favorite color is purple, which is near dear to my heart because my favorite color is purple. So here is the bag I made for Christina. And they do all have the special second pocket because if I'm gonna make it for them, I'm gonna do it right and give them the fancy bag. So here is her purple bag. And what do we have going into the purple bag?
Bloomy twig.
Very pretty.
I don't remember why I picked this. I think I just went with like pink and purple flowers to match her bag.
It's a good reason.
Or, oh, she also likes cherry blossoms, so I thought these kind of looked somewhat similar to cherry blossoms. Christina, you're a mystery. That's why my mom can't remember your name.
Hey, I got it. Both times I got it. It just took a minute. And then on the off chance, because you'll be gone for a few years, you finish your cross stitch, we wanted to make sure that you had one because I think where you're at, it's not exactly easy to get supplies and stuff.
No.
So this is what you picked for you.
Mm-hmm. I like blues. I like animals. I'm already working on a cat. Might as well do. Well, this isn't a dog. This is a wolf, but
Husky-ish.
husky-ish.
And I just had her go on 1, 2, 3 stitch while she was away, pick out what she wanted, and I got it ordered and made sure I got it here in the States so that she can take it with her in her suitcase when she goes back next week. So she is going to send me a picture of what she's done so far on her cross that she's working on, and
I already sent you a picture.
A current picture.
I think I sent you a current picture.
Oh, you haven't worked on it since then?
Nope. I told you I got to work on it for one day, and that was mid-semester break.
So I will either hunt it down or I'll just make her send me another picture so I don't have to hunt it down, and I will insert it here. And then now we will head back to my regular floss tube. Bye. So that was my daughter Diane, and the gifts we made for her friends. I hope they love them. I know they've already started using them. I supplied everything but a hoop. I completely forgot about the hoops because I tend to cross stitch in hand, although I do have some projects on hoops right now. I just didn't even think about it. So I'm sorry, girls, about you being hoopless. I do believe Diane said that her roommate Caroline did go out and get a hoop herself. I would just mail them some, but again, outside the United States, it's so hard to get mail. but if Diane comes home this summer, we'll get them up right. I didn't get a lot of stitchy stuff for Christmas, and I don't tend to show a lot of haul here as well, but I did get a lot of Michael's gift cards, which is great because that's where I tend to get all my floss at. And my daughter Kayla, her boyfriend Dakota, had reached out to me and demanded a Christmas list. So I sent him a couple of things, and Dakota did get me, oh, let me take it out of this, the Nora Corbett pattern, Bewitching Pixies. This is Gwen, I believe. And then I did go ahead and get the fabric and the beads, so I just need to chop that up. So this is from Dakota. It's really nice when the boyfriends know to get you stitchy stuff. So I did get that for Christmas. And other than that, my life is pretty consistently the same. I go to work and I go dancing. I take a dance class on Thursday nights with my daughter Kayla. Those were paused for a couple of weeks through the holidays, but they just recently started up again. And now that we're into January, we are officially working on the recital dance. So that's kind of fun. It's kind of scary to think that I'm going to be up on stage dancing at my age, but at the same time, it's fun to be working on this dance. My husband and I joined a gym in December. That was not a New Year's resolution. I used to work at a gym when I was younger. I taught spinning classes, so I know how easily going to the gym for a New Year's resolution fails. Everybody goes really strong in January, they peter off in February, and then by March, we never see them again. So I made sure we started in December so that we have a better chance at it. We did see a professional to work out a routine for us because, again, I was a spin instructor at the gym, so I can do cardio like there's no tomorrow, but at my age, I felt like I needed to get into a little bit of strength training, just kind of to keep up. I don't want to be in my 70s and 80s. I want to live in my 70s and 80s, but I don't want to be one of the people you see that's just really doesn't have the physical ability to get where they want to go and do what they want to do. So I think it was time to add a little bit of strength training into my routine. Other than that, it's just been cross-stitching, and I've worked on a few projects that I've put a lot of stitches in, but not a lot of projects. I think that's going to kind of be my theme for this year, is I want to keep my projects down to a minimum because I love everything I'm working on, so I want to continue to work on them. I did show a WIPCO video on my plans for WIPCO. I have not touched my WIPCO projects this month, and I'm not going to touch my WIPCO projects this month. The numbers, I can't remember what numbers were called. I think they were 2 and 19, but what was called was Bellatrix for 5 hours, and then my full coverage golf pattern for 5 days. Now, I do plan on going ahead with WIPCO, just not this month. I did start a MKAL, which is a knitting mystery knit along. So kind of like a SAL is a stitch along, an MKAL is a mystery knit along. That's going to be for 5 weeks. I'm already 3 weeks in. Once that's done, then I will start working on my WIPCO goals. One of my holdbacks on my WIPCO goals, though, is I want 5 days on my full coverage golf pattern. But that was one of the first patterns I got when I started stitching again, and I'm not sure I want to continue with the fabric I'm on. I did use Easy Grid, but I think it might be 14 or 16 count. I have to pull it out, but I know it's bigger count, and it's 2 strands full cross. So I think I'm going to restart that, and I want to be sure I'm definite on what I want to do with that before I start it again, because it is not in Pattern Keeper. I am working off a paper copy, so I want to make sure that I get it right before I start it over again. So I do plan on, at the moment, going ahead with WIPCO, just not this month. Once my knitting's done and I'm not racing to get the steps done, then I'll have a little bit more leeway in my stitching time. With that being said, let's get into the stitching I did work on. So on Christmas, I worked on my Halloween at Hawk Run Hollows, because that's what you do at Christmas. You stitch Halloween, right? So Halloween at Hawk Run Hollows, and I am still in the first block. And I really need to get this block done because my WIPCO goal is to get this second block done. So I want to have my first block done before it's called. I don't think I have a before picture because I think it's a few videos back that I showed this last time, and it's just really too hard to dig too deep. And I forgot to take a picture when I started stitching it because it was Christmas. But this is where I am at now. I really don't have too much more to go. I believe I finished up the wording on this, and so I have a spider's web to do up here and a spider's web to do over here with the spider, and then that is all I have left for this block. So I'm really, really close to the end. I just need to spend time on the spider's web, which you're going to see is probably a theme. For some reason the spider webs keep holding me up. And this is on, I thought I had it written down here. Mushroom Lugana 20 count. So it's a zygote fabric, a Lugana, and the color is mushroom. And it's a 20 count. This fabric is what made me fall in love with 20 count. It's the first thing that I dared to go so small, but the holes are so easy to see on it. And I am now obsessed with 20 count. If I can get away with it, that's what I use. If there's no beads, I'm going to 20 count, unless I'm working on a full coverage piece. And this is just in a project bag that I made myself following the Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch tutorial. Look how cute the back fabric is. Then I was really itching on Christmas to do a new start. And with it being Christmas, everything was closed. So I had to find something I had in my house that I had everything for. I don't tend to pre-kit up a bunch of projects. If I'm getting ready to start a project, I go to kit it up. So I found a project I had laying around that had very few colors. I had to dip a little bit into a couple of other projects for the floss, but I started on Christmas after the kids had all left for the day, because I get them in the morning. I say kids, but they're all in their 20s. So they come, we have Christmas, and then they want to go and do their stuff. So we do morning and we do breakfast. This year we attempted to do breakfast, but breakfast was a miserable fail this year. My husband pre-made the bacon before they got here because they came, as they get older, they come a little bit later and later. He pre-made the bacon, and then we needed to put it away someplace safe because we have dogs. And he shoved the bacon into the oven in a Tupperware container. I had made cinnamon rolls, which I had put in the microwave. Probably in hindsight, we should have put the cinnamon rolls in the oven and the Tupperware container in the microwave. So after we opened all the presents, we came up. My husband preheated the oven to start the biscuits, and then we smelled the smoke. So when we opened it up, the Tupperware container had melted all through the oven. So not only did we not have the bacon, we didn't have the oven to use because there was plastic melted all through the oven, and I felt like if we tried to cook anything in the oven, we were going to all die of poison from the plastic. So we didn't have the oven, so I grabbed the eggs to make scrambled eggs, but I had sent my husband to the store to buy all the groceries, and I had said one package of eggs was going to be enough, but I usually buy 18 eggs. He bought a dozen eggs. So now we have 12 eggs for the entire family. No biscuits, no bacon. Luckily, he had some waffle mix, and he was able to whip up some waffles that didn't take eggs. So for breakfast, they had waffles and a teeny tiny portion of scrambled eggs because we had to share it amongst a bunch of 20-year-olds. And we have 2 girls and 4 boys, so the boys can really eat a little bit more than the girls. So luckily, they were going to their dad's house right after here, where he was making them a big lunch. So they probably had a half hour between breakfast and lunch by the time we were opening presents. They survived. One day with a small breakfast, they survived. Anyways, that's completely off topic of what I stitched. So after they left, I decided I wanted to start a new project, and I needed to have enough stuff to start it. This isn't even in a bag. I still haven't put it in a bag because I am taking threads from other projects, and I don't want to put this away and then lose the threads. But I started Farm Life. I bought it at Fat Quarter Shop. It's an It's So Emma pattern. And here's what we had. And I was lucky enough to have just gotten this beautiful Be Stitch Me fabric in the mail. And again, I don't have a bag, so I don't have I have the tag wrapped up in here to keep it safe. So the tag on what this is wrapped up in here. But it is the mystery of the month. Let me see if I can get to it. It is Frost. So it's 20 count. The colorway is Frost by Be Stitch Me. And is that not just gorgeous? And then I've started in on the cowl. Now the cowl will be filled in, but I just outlined it so that when I go places, I can bring this and it's just easy fill in. And then I started in on the pig, and I made a small stop because I was missing one color, which I have since gotten. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to outline all the bodies and then use those as fill-in. I did not go with the variegated. I am going with the DMC conversion, but I think it's absolutely adorable, and I don't think the variegation really added anything to it. So I have plans for this. I know exactly what I'm going to do with it when it's done. I have to have it done by the end of the year, so there's no rush on it, but it's fun to have a start. So I worked on that on Christmas, and then a couple of times I was places where I just wanted to do some easy stitching, and that was the next thing I worked on. The rest of the stuff doesn't have any an order to it. I kind of just picked it up and put it down. They've all been kind of interchanged. This project has been the project I bring with me when I go to my stitchy group on Saturday. So every other Saturday, a group of us meet at a local Panera, and it's just so much fun to be able to stitch with people in 3D. And this is the Haunted Mansion. I was doing it as a stitch along. It was supposed to be done in October. It was not. I was doing this on the Facebook group 21 Halloween Cross Stitch Projects in 2021. She has changed the name of the group because it is 2022, and I will put the new name of the Facebook group because I don't remember what it got changed to. I just click on the link when I go into Facebook. So this is 18 count Ada. Again, it's fabric I've dyed myself. It's just a remnant, so it seemed to be the right size. It was the right color. What did I even show you? So this is the project. I had decided to not do this bottom portion. I don't know if I have enough space, and as I had said, I'm not really a fan of orange, so all those pumpkins, but now that I'm almost done, I kind of don't know if maybe I can squeeze them in or if I do want to do them. This is just going to be the never-ending project. So if I have a before, I'll show it. I have a before. It's if I'm not lazy and I want to go to my last video and pull out the before page, I'll show it. But this is where I am at now. See if I can get this to unwind. Again, stitching in hand, I wind up the, I was mid-stitching when I put this down. I don't know why. I would have stopped there. Hold on. Let me get a thread out of the way. Move the pin, and hopefully I don't forget it's there and poke myself. All right. Let's see if it will stay down. So here is where we are at. I did all the back stitching in the, it's not going to. Well, you get the picture. You're only missing a little bit of grass. So all that back stitching got done. The tree got done. The owl. And then all I have left is, if you look here, I have to finish the face of the pumpkin in that bottom box and the spider's web. Again, spider's web gets me every time. And then this is done. Unless I decide I want to do that bottom portion. I don't know. This is all I have left for fabric. But I mean, I think it would only bring me to about here. I don't know. I don't know if I have enough room. I don't know if it needs it. Kind of just feels like maybe it does need it. What do you think? Do you think I should just call this good? Or do you think I should put that bottom section in? Do you think I have enough fabric to put that bottom section in? But I am absolutely loving it. I do want to get it framed, so I do need enough room for the framers. So again, I just love this. This is one of my favorite projects to date that I have stitched. So, Tiny Modernist Haunted Mansion. And again, just this is a vinyl front bag that I made. I do have a tutorial on how to make these, if you want to check that out. Just warning you, if you check it out, my husband helped me film it, so the angles are probably not the best. I know the angles are not the best, so if you watch the video, you don't need to tell me that the angles aren't great, but it is what it is. Then I worked on, and I'm not even sure how much I did on this, so maybe not even enough to make it worth showing you, but I worked on the Pokemon hashtag gotta catch 'em all, Sal. I'm working on this in conjunction with Rachel Ray. It's a free download from Lord Libyan, and Rachel Ray is doing this as a fundraiser, so she has a Twitch stream going, I believe, that she releases every Thursday, trying to raise money. I'm not sure what the charity is, but I figured I'd get mine started at the same time. I think I pretty much just finished off here and did this blue, because I'm doing the extended edition, so there's a lot more background in it. And this is where I am on that. This will be fun because there's just a lot of changes in it. So you get to finish something. You get a lot of little wins on this. So you could feel like you've accomplished something versus a lot of full coverage where you have a lot of background before you get to stuff. But again, this is the Pokemon hashtag gotta catch 'em all, Sal. And here is where we're at. And this is so much smaller. This is than my other full coverage. This doesn't get a lot of love because my other full coverage takes up quite a bit of my time. I've just been obsessed with working on it. And anytime I'm working on something else, I want to be back to working on that. And that's, again, in another bag that I made. How cute is this fabric? And it's great because this bag's big enough to hold all the flosses. Yes, I bobbinate. I try not to bobbinate, but I can't. I have to bobbinate. My other full coverage, which I have in floss bags on floss rings, is not working for me. I will be bobbinating all 234 colors, I think. I just don't like the unorganization of not being bobbinated. And I know other people love it. For me, I feel like the threads just get all ratty and gross. And so I did start, last year I did the Linens and Threads 2021 stitch along. And while it was nice, it really wasn't my style. I have been obsessed, and the whole reason I started it is because I was watching Noah Stitch's 2020 Linens and Threads style, and I absolutely loved it. So a group of us have gotten together, and we have decided we are going to stitch the 2020 Linens and Threads style. And I think we're using hashtag throwback to LNT 2020 SAL. So we are doing it, and we're doing it as a SAL. So we're doing January and January, February and February. And I can show you what the whole thing looks like because it was completed over a year ago. And so I did January. And I am using linens and threads. Another, I don't know if this was a mystery of the month or not, because this one I just ordered from her site, and it's Stonehenge. And again, it is a 20 count. And here, this way. And here is where I am at. So I'm using a DMC variegated number 52. So this is what I'm using. The problem with this is it has long stretches of color before it changes. So I have found that I do have to pay attention to the color changes, and I've definitely been snipping at the color changes and kind of color controlling where the changes are. So I'm putting a lot more thought into this than I planned. Whoops. A lot more thought into this than I thought I was going to have to. So I am paying attention to where the colors are changing and trying to make this lightest color not quite so in your face. So this is where I'm at. And this will get put away until February. So I am doing this as if it's being released. And I am really enjoying it. And I am trying to make sure this is the only stitch along I do. And I have seen some that I've definitely wanted to click on and stop, but I want to make sure that I don't bite off more than I can chew this year. I would like to potentially stick with Whip Go. We'll see how that goes. And I'm really enjoying my full coverage pieces, and I won't have time for them if I'm always frantically trying to keep up on a stitch along. So as of right now, that's all I plan on doing for a stitch along this year. And then the last project that I have been stitching has taken most of my stitching time, and I have buried it. So hold on one second. This is Magic Study. The designer is Rose Khan, and it was charted by Heaven and Earth Design. I did go with supersized max color. This was originally released in their limited edition where you only had a month to get it. And I fell in love with it, and I was so devastated that I wasn't able to stitch it. A lot of Flosstubers do have that pattern. But what happened is when Rose had originally designed this, she designs a lot of things for puzzles. And when she released it to the place that does the puzzles, they wanted her to brighten it up and add more colors. So then she did a rainbow version for the puzzle company. And then HAED released the rainbow version in just the general spot. So we now had access to the rainbow version. And I'm kind of excited that I didn't get the original one. Although I love the deeper colors of the original one, I feel like the rainbow version is going to be more fun to stitch up because they're brighter colors. And then if you're spending time on something that I think it's going to take me, this is going to a 10 to 15 year project. This isn't something that's going to get done in a year. I just think looking at the more muted colors over time, I may not be as excited. Whereas the rainbow version, every time you go to a new color, and it ends up being brighter, and it's fun to stitch. So I'm definitely excited that I have the rainbow version. And last time you saw this, I think it was about 2,000 stitches in. I had already done over 1,000 stitches on a different count fabric. I was using 25 count fabric. I'm now using 28 count fabric. And I'm about 5,000 stitches in now. So this is where I am at. And I am obsessed with working on this. So this is where I am at now. Last time I was excited that these were starting to show up. But now I've got this butterfly Look how gorgeous that is. And then more lights. Look at how bright. See, the bright is starting to pop in. And that'll be a string of lights coming this way. And I was second guessing whether I should have done the max colors. I mean, I was already doing supersize, if I should have just stuck with the regular 90 colors versus 234. But looking at that butterfly, I am so glad I went with max color. It is just, I just love this. I know I keep showing it, but I am so proud of this. So again, I reached just a little over 5,000 stitches today. And when I am done filming, I will probably go down. I need to make a new project bag for this. I don't like the bag that it's in. And then I'm going to stitch on this all night. And I'm so excited. I'm just obsessed with this. And I want to go with it while I'm obsessed with it. Because I know 10 to 15 years on a project, I will probably hit highs and lows on it. So when I'm in a high on it, I want to make sure I can get as much done. And I am enjoying every single stitch of this. So with that though, my friend Anna and I have decided, I was on Full Coverage Fanatics and I was looking at a cross stitch pattern and I wanted to see what else the designer had done. And I don't know how, because I hit that picture, but it brought me to the wrong artist. And I'm so glad it brought me to the wrong artist. I'll put his name below that we did end up going to. I think Pinkley. I don't remember. I'm just going to type his name below. But we stumbled on his site and his stuff is amazing. So Anna and I have decided, I picked a few of his projects that I would love to stitch. She's going to take the ones that I picked. She's going to narrow it down to one. So on my birthday in April, we're going to kit up the project that she picks. And then on her birthday in May, we're going to start it. So the last thing I should be doing is starting another Heaven and Earth design, but I'm going to start another Heaven and Earth design. And I have also ordered through Heaven and Earth Designs. I did the Gypsy Firefly. I got some money for Christmas for my mom, so I did pay to have Heaven and Earth kit up the Gypsy Firefly, so the fabric and the flosses. So I do have that coming my way as well. I have no idea when it will get here. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a fast process, but I do have that coming as well. So one of the things you probably won't see from me much is a haul section, because with all these full coverages, I really can't justify spending a lot of money on a lot of other patterns I may not get to. I think that is it for the cross stitch part of this. I do have some knitting to show. As I said, I have started a mystery knit along. I am watching, or I do watch, Cozy Up Knits, and it's 4 sisters from Canada. It's kind of rotating through. There's 2 sisters that are always on. Then there's a set of twins. One of them is on quite a bit. The other one you don't really see much. And then their mom comes and goes on it. But they do a mystery knit along every year in January. And this year I decided I was going to participate in it because I wanted to use up some of my yarn stash. I don't tend to knit as much as I used to, so I wanted a reason to use some of the yarn. Unfortunately, I was anxious to get it kitted up, so I went on to a site that I knew did pre-kits on them just to figure out what I needed for yarn measurements, and I fell in love with the kit I found on the site. So instead of using up my yarn stash, I ended up buying more yarn, but it is gorgeous. Now, if you are participating in the Cozy Up Knits knit along, stop watching now, because I am up to date with Clue 3. So if you don't want to see where this is at, I'm going to be holding it up. So this is your last chance to stop the video or look away. So it is going to be a shawl. And then it started out with this lace section. And of course, this shows up much more. The lace is easier to see once it's been washed and blocked in the end. But here is the lace section. Then it worked into this. then some squishy garter section. And then this is the section I just finished. Oh, let me get the needles out so I can spread it out a little bit. And then this is the section I just finished. So section 3. And this is a kit from Ginger Snap That on Etsy. But isn't this gorgeous? So section 1 ended here, section 2 here, section 3. So I don't know what we're doing next, but they had us cut all the yarn. So we are done with whatever this is, and they did say we needed 2 sets of needles. So I think we're going to be doing the other half, and then we'll be stitching them together. But I'm really loving this. And now you can see why I couldn't resist. The yarn is so gorgeous. So the next section, they say that the sections drop on Saturdays, but they've been dropping Friday nights. And I do start it on Friday nights. Whatever I'm doing stops the second I know that it dropped. Now, if you're into knitting at all, one of the good things about them too is if they have any stitch that they think is going to be confusing, they do put out a video tutorial on how to do any of the confusing stitches. But so far, aside from the lace section, which again is just yarn overs and, you know, slip knits and knit 2 togethers, it's really not that hard. The hardest part about lace is that you have to pay attention. So you can't be watching TV and you can't be talking to whomever your significant other is. They do need to shut up and be quiet while you're counting. But other than that, the rest has just been very easy to do. So that's everything I've been working on since the last time I've seen you last. I'm not sure when I'm going to film again. I was trying to do an every other week thing, but I think with the amount of time I'm putting in knitting and the amount of time I'm spending on magic study, I feel like if I show up again in 2 weeks, I'm just going to have 2 things to show you. So I may try to go to once a month and see how that works, just because I don't want you to waste your time coming in to see me and then I'm like, here's my 2 projects, I'm done, see you later. And I also don't want to stitch on something I don't want to stitch on because I know I have to film a floss too. I already have 2 jobs. I do not want to turn this into a 3rd one. So I'm thinking you might see me again in about a month. And until then, happy crafting.